Okay, let's work on this ongoing experiment. I'm still working on trying to figure out. Let's try to figure this thing out. Let's figure it out. Let's work it out. Let's see. Am I live? Still working on how to do two things at once while stretching myself to do something I haven't really done that much of. It's engaging on both Instagram and YouTube at the same time. So it's that natural state of disorientation. I'll give a couple of minutes for a couple of people just to pop in and let me know. What's up, Ricky? Can you hear me okay? Is my sound good? Because I'm working on this commitment to my consistency, and that's good for us today because I'm going on letter. It's day 3 already, and for those of you that are checking in for the first time, don't know anything about this ABCs of money challenge or what I am attempting to do is to number one, challenge myself. We're on day C, so I want somebody. If you do a good job for me, I'll do a good job for you. If you can count for me the number of times I say words that begin with the letter C, now be careful because they are tricky. There are some challenges. CH words also start with C. So choices, chances, challenges, all of those are words that begin with C, but that also have a huge impact when it comes to our money. Hey, Khadija, good to see you. Oops, y'all fell down on the camera. That's me working with my camera mount over here because it's also still a little bit challenged in how we decide to interact. But here's my simple concept that I'm working through over the next couple of weeks is to build out that vocabulary to have the money conversation. Meaning it's a startling statistic, but in the United States of America, the number one capitalist country in the continent, 70% of people are financially illiterate, meaning we go to school from our childhood through our adulthood, and most of us into our college education and post baccalaureate degrees don't get any education on the fundamentals of finance. And it puts us in a position where at the end of our working years, many people, as I start to get into that upper echelon of age groups, I was born in the late 1900s. I want you to know that up front. Not in a position to take care of themselves because of the things that we weren't taught. And I just want to counter that academic program and make sure that we insert the conversational pieces that we weren't taught. I mean, and I think it's intentional, but I won't cast aspersions on anyone. I'll just say, if you're aware of a problem, you should take care of it. Yes. If you know that you've learned some things and can pass some things along the social spectrum to people that may or may not have heard it, it should be of value. So every day for the next 26 days, I'm getting out of my comfort zone. Put that in your notes. Your comfort zone is the enemy of your success, meaning I'm perfectly comfortable talking to a small group of people or a room full of people. But out here in these Instagram streets, I'm still a novice. I'm still learning. I got some great lessons that I intend to apply today. But over the course of the next, well, right now it's 23 days, 26 days, A through Z, we're going to build a vocabulary of personal finance, meaning there are all kinds of words in the world of accounting, investing, in business, and tax structure that are relevant to people that need to understand money. I'm going to break it down and simplify one letter of the alphabet at a time, because that's what they taught us in school, right? They said A, B, C, easy as 1, 2, 3. Oh, I can't sing. No, I can't. I can sing a little bit. I have to admit, what I can do and what I could do and what I should do aren't always the same thing. But here's what I do know, that letter C has some of the most powerful terms in the world of personal finance. And if you are in a position, grab a pen and lean in. I won't be here long because I never intend to be online this late in the evening. But the thing that I want you to understand is most important in anything. It's not just in finance, it's a life law. It's consistency. It's honoring the power of consistency, meaning what you do consistently is more important than anything you do occasionally. I'll say that again. What you do consistently is more important than anything you ever do occasionally, because your consistency is the key to the breakthrough. Meaning, do you know that the Grand Canyon was built by a small drip of water just consistently dripping on the rock, dripping on the rock, dripping on the rock, dripping on the rock? But eventually, that constant, consistent pressure applied made the breakthrough one of the biggest gorges in the earth. Consistency is key. Now, here's the reality. In our world, it's easy to be inconsistent, meaning the world will always give you the opportunity to quit, but only the world considers quitting an opportunity. Whatever you decide to do, be consistent in spite of chaos, because it's crazy times that we're in right now. There are still so many things happening in our world that people get caught up in the crazy and don't take care of their cash flow. And as we go through this is what I want you to understand about America. It's a capitalist culture. I don't have anything against the capitalist culture now that I understand it. What I do have a problem with is that our capitalist culture did not teach us to be capitalists. They taught us to be consumers so that we would be capitalized on. So that in my neighborhood, most other people were taught a simple formula that actually ends in a crash. I mean, they said, go to school, get good grades, go to college, get a degree, get a job with good benefits, and live happily ever after. I'm here to tell you, I'm one of those people that signed up for the whole formula. Any of my friends that know me from school know I didn't make any grade below a 93 from my 8th grade to senior year. I knew that I was smart from a traditional academic sense. But when I went off to college, I went to Duke University. I double majored in electrical engineering and computer science. And not to impress you, but to impress upon you that after 12 years of honors level work, after graduating from Duke University with dual degrees in electrical engineering and computer science, I jumped out into the corporate culture and realized I ain't know nothing. Anybody ever been 22? 17, you thought you knew everything. 22, you realize you knew nothing when it comes to creating. Creating is another word. Creating the level of success that I wanted for my life, meaning I always wanted to be wealthy. Unfortunately, our education system is designed to teach us to create wealth for people who create businesses. So in the capitalist society, I want you to understand that there's always 3 tiers of income: earned income, business income, investment income. Earned income is the money that we make at work. Here's the reality. What we're taught in school is go to school, make more money, make more money, make more money, make more money, make more money. Always caught up in that race to get another degree so that we can get a higher salary. Always in that race to get to that next level of promotion and management and authority so that we could make more money. But the reality is that the game is about cash flow, meaning the money that we make from our hours is the highest tax, highest penalized form of money in the world. If we take control, create our own businesses, create our own entities, create assets from our own intellectual properties, at least we gain some degree of control. Businesses in the middle are taxed less and taxed differently than we are at work. But you got to understand, the American economy was developed and designed by capitalists. Investment income, capital, that's money. Making money is the lowest tax form of income in our country, and it always has been. And as far as I can see, it always will be. That's capitalism. Now, here's the thing. You got 2 choices, choices that begins with C. So I want somebody to give me a word count. I need somebody to go back through, check this transcript and see how many C words I can fit into our conversation about cash flow and capitalism today. But here's what I want you to understand. When it comes to that last category of investment income, of the money that comes back from our investments, our holdings in real estate, in stocks, in bonds, in precious metals, most of us aren't even taught to look over there. We're taught to look over here and keep working harder, not smarter. So that's the first concept, is just understand. Number one, be consistent in your pursuit of rather than chasing the check, chase the cash flow, follow the money. Now, that probably brings me to something that I should clarify because I did not know the difference. I mean, Khadija, when I was growing up, I'm from East Point, Georgia. For those of you who don't know where that is, whenever you land in the airport in Atlanta, you land in my neighborhood and drive somewhere else. But when I was growing up, we thought that cash flow and income were the same thing, and they are not. Meaning, the chase is for us to chase income, meaning income is measured in dollars, a dollar amount. It's an amount of money, but cash flow is measured in time. So our income, if we got $1 million income, that's a sky high income, yes? But cash flow is measured in time. How long does that $1 million income last us? Meaning, if you got $1 million income, but you've got $2 million in bills, you're just broke on a higher broke level. Come on now. What do you mean, Richard? It's 1/2. It's income over expense determines how long your cash flows. If you're 1/2, you're half a period before you need a check. Check the check, check behind the check comes from, check the check and check behind the check. Make sure all those words begin with C. Check the check, check behind the check. All of those are places where the income is not significantly greater than the expense. But even imagine this, even on a modest salary, you got $80,000 in income, but your expenses are only $40,000. 8/4 reduces to 2/1. You have 2 times the cash flow you need to make it through one period before you need a new infusion of cash. Meaning now you have more than enough cash to have some cash take care of right now and some cash take care of tomorrow. Because no matter what you think about what I teach, by the way, I don't have anything to sell. I'm just sharing some things that were shared with me. Hopefully they get to you earlier in your life so that you can put yourself in a position not to go crazy when you understand that you are responsible for your life right now and your life in the future. See, it's one of those challenges. I'm on Instagram. We're talking about this whole instant success, instant gratification society. And most people weren't taught that companies gave up taking care of us in our retirement years 40 years ago. The government, all the taxes that get taken out through Social Security, don't believe that you're going to be secure on that when you can no longer work. So we have to concentrate our efforts on creating cash flow, meaning putting ourselves in a place. Cash that we create buys assets. Rewind to letter A. That was day one in our conversation. The cash buys assets that then produce more cash so that now our money is making money. That's a simple formula. Write it down, but burn it into your eyes. And as you think about what happens when cash comes into your life, look at the cash and say, what asset can you buy that can bring me more of you? I have no room in my house for deadbeat money. Every dollar that we make needs to be put to work. My brother always says, if you know my brother, Chuck Hollywood Hardon is a legend. But Chuck says that people get confused and don't understand that money is a tool and money should work. They get tricked out of going out and going to work for money and work their whole lives for the tool instead of employing the tool to work for them. We got to reverse that equation. The only way that your money can ever work for you is if it stays with you long enough to do more for you, through you. The formula, cash, asset, cash. Now, here's another point. Again, I'm from Atlanta. I'm really from Atlanta. I'm from Atlanta to the point where I have to correct my verb and noun agreement and my use of words like shawty for multiple parts of speech to make sure that people understand that this is right now the land of the phony, the fake, and the flossing. People would rather look rich than get rich. And in our culture, in our society, I'm talking about not you, just people around me. People came to get the wrong understanding of what C words represented wealth, meaning they got fixated on clothes, cars, and cash. Wait, Richard. Yeah, I'm trying to tell you what I understand, what I see as I watch how this culture is evolving, is that there's consistently that fixation on clothes. Like what kind of shoes I wear. I got on Jordans, but I don't have any stock in Nike, right? Versace this, Gucci that. When does any of the, my mama has a saying, she says, if you can put it on your ass, it's not an asset. Come on, mom. But that's a reality. Cars, clothes, and cash. Now, cash is in a different category, so I'll set it aside for now. But think about this. Broke folks are the only folks that go broke trying to look good for poor folks. Oh, that's bars. I might have to bring that back another time on a different letter. But think about it. Clothes only make you look rich. It's just what you put on your body. And a car, a brand new car, the minute you drive it off the lot, it's worth less than when you got in and put the keys in the ignition. Depreciation, just the cost or the value of the thing that you bought going down every moment that you use it, it's the creation of a poverty cycle. If you got clothes on your body, but not money in the bank, not money invested in the company that created the clothes, you're continuing the culture and the chaos that keeps us, it keeps isn't a C word. I know keeps begins with a K, but keeps us caught up in this vicious cycle where cash is flowing away from us. Now that last category, I know somebody a little bit when I said that cash money is one of the things that we get fixated on when it comes to wealth, because money in the bank or even money on hand, I see all the time people flashing money on Instagram, stacks and racks and racks. Man, y'all setting yourselves up to get robbed. Don't keep that much cash on you. But it's not just that. It's not just that. You just got to understand what cash is. Cash is currency. There's some things that you want to learn about under the covers of any word. There's its roots. But cash has a current value, meaning every dollar that you make right now is suffering the effects of inflation. Meaning if you got cash in hand, cash in the bank, cash under your mattress, cash under the floorboards, it's worth less than it was worth when you acquired the cash. That's how inflation works. The value of a dollar goes down a little bit every year, and it's been going down by about 4% since I've been alive. Meaning, y'all not my age, but when I was growing up, you could get gas for less than $1 for your car. Yep, 79.9 right there on Riverdale Road in East Point. You put in the gas nozzle, you go in with a $20 bill, say, I want to fill it up. And you could go back with an expectation that you're going to get change. But now if you put $20 in your tank, you can go back expecting that you need to find another gas station 2/3 of the tank away, because over time, the cycles reverse. Meaning when we first started, it was that the gallons were going fast, but the dollars were going slow. Now it's gotten to the point where the dollars are going fast and the gallons are going slow. And it's not just gas that's going up in cost, meaning everything that used to cost a thing costs much less. The price of homes here in Atlanta, median price of a home used to be around $100,000. 20 years later, the median price of the same home is $200,000. Now, here's the reality. Over the last 20 years, most people have not increased their income $100,000 per year. That's just so cash, if you got it in hand, evaporates. If you got it in your mattress, in your pocket, it's going down in value. And I'm not saying that cash is trash. We just got to be in a position that our cash buys assets that make more cash, because the government can always make more currency. See, here's what's real. Look, okay, 1971. Look this up in your history books. This before I was born. Cash used to be in the United States associated with a certain amount of gold. Meaning if you had $1, there was a certain amount of gold. They called it the gold standard, where you could take that dollar and go to the Federal Reserve Bank and turn it in for a specific amount of gold. 1971, Richard Nixon took the dollar off that gold standard, and that meant that the US could manufacture more money. What are you saying, Rich? Why is this history lesson important? Means a dollar is only worth what we agree that it's worth. And that's true of all currency, by the way. I'm not just down on the US dollar because I travel and around the world, the US dollar is king compared to most currencies. What I'm trying to tell you is that cash and currency, their value is current. I mean, all you got to do is think about it implicitly. This is one US dollar. If you think about the materials that are in this dollar, it's just cotton, ink, and fabric. Do you know that the materials in a nickel are worth 6 cents? They still have to change the formula for composing a nickel so that it stays on value. What I'm saying is there's more value in terms of the precious metals that are in a nickel than there is value in the dollar itself. It's the concept of currency that makes money worth money, meaning it's the fact that we agree that it's worth something that creates its value. Simple history lesson on money and why cash is not the only form. As a matter of fact, if you think about the categories of investors and investment vehicles out there, there's cash equivalents, meaning you got your money in a CD, a money market fund, in a bank, somewhere where you can get access to the money. It's liquid and you can get access to it today in today's economy. And well, depending on when you see this, because it's 2022, banks are paying less than 1% return on investment for any cash equivalent, meaning money you can get to in 24 to 48 hours. It's the investment vehicle of the poor. But it's all most of us were taught. And we were taught when you get that good job, put your money in a checking account, a savings account, get some in your 401k. But most of our money, we were taught to put in banks and to trust banks to be our benefactors and working on our best interest. So that should go in the B letter for the other day. But here's the second part. Once you get to the place where you understand that cash equivalents are the investment vehicle of the poor, well, there's 4 other classes. We'll talk about these on their individual days, but you've got bonds, which are for conservatives. Meaning if you're conservative, a bond, by the way, is a debt investment. It's a corporation, municipal, city, government that's actually going out and they've borrowed money from people in exchange for payment. Like when we built Mercedes-Benz Stadium down here in Atlanta, Georgia, they floated a bond. What that means is the city borrowed money from people that were willing to invest money and agreed to repay the money based on the returns from that investment. Medium to low returns, but very low risk based on who's backing the bond. So conservatives, cash equivalents for the poor. Bonds for the conservative. As a matter of fact, in my grandparents' generation, most of the gifts that my grandparents and my aunties gave me were those U.S. Treasury savings bonds backed by the government. They grew steadily, but not quickly. Now, stocks are for the rich. That's a part of ownership in a company. It'll have its own day when I get to it. I just want you to get the picture of how the world works. And then real assets, land, businesses, precious metals, certain types of commodities are things that you can tangibly see and touch that have a value that moves up and down in exchange. Those are the investment vehicles of the wealthy. And quite honestly, most of us aren't even taught to look over here in this left and right quadrant individually. But we're going to break that myth and make sure that people create the belief that you don't have to have all your money in cash, but that your cash should actually go to work buying assets so that it can create more. Let's see. What did I leave out? Oh, now, by the way, my whole conversation about currency applies to cryptocurrency. I know there are a lot of my good friends made significant income in capital gains. That's what we should talk about. Cash flow and capital gains. 2 areas that we're looking for our wealth to expand. Cash flow. That means that the money that we've made and put into something is bringing us money. That's what I want us to be conditioned to chase after we leave this conversation is cash flow first, meaning based on my investment of time and or energy, how much money does the money I put out bring back to me? How many people send me money based on the efforts that I put into that thing? That's cash flow. And then the second area is capital gains, where the value of something you invested in grows as a result of the economy pushing things up. Like right now, real estate investors in North America doing great, meaning because the economy and inflation are pushing the value of these homes, especially our investment real estate, is tough to count the capital gains on the place that you live. Because in order to capitalize on that capital gain, you got to get out. You got to sell that house to get those things. But the bank would let you use that to determine your net worth. Am I making sense? So cash flow and capital gains, both C words, but both things that put us in the quadrant. On the capital gain side, we get the option of having money making money with a different tax behavior than the money that we make from our jobs or from our businesses. And then, I'd be remiss if I didn't take a minute to talk about the credit game. Credit starts with C2, and I almost let that slip out of the bag. Credit is consistently the #1 sold vehicle for businesses to create wealth in our country. Meaning all you have to do is sit down and watch any 1-hour segment of television, and you're going to see what's in your wallet. Don't leave home without it, right? Everywhere you want to be. Credit, but the word credit, the root of that is the reputation you have for paying people on time. But in my opinion, it's also one of the quickest con games in the financial industry. Meaning, I want you to think about this. The way that credit works in America. Oh, by the way, I should do some definition, some education. I have a series of talks that I've done about credit, your history, and making sure that it's not a mystery. Make sure to visit me on my YouTube channel or shoot me a message on the inbox. I'll send you the information, because here's what happened to me. I got into the credit trap without even understanding what credit was. Meaning on the campus of Duke University, Discover Card discovered me walking down the lane to the Bryan Center, and they said that they would give me a card that let me spend money that I ain't have. We both discovered I didn't have a job, an understanding, or an ability to pay. So I started off negative in the credit race. And it turns out my story is not different than most other people. Credit's a combination. There are 5 factors that determine your credit score. We'll talk about those another day. Here's what I want you to understand. Credit bureaus are not government agencies. They are private businesses. What business are they in? They are in the snitching business. They tell your business to other businesses so that other businesses can rank how much you should pay for money. And here's the sinister thing of the trap. Because it's a capitalist culture, the people with the worst credit pay the most. Meaning the people that are in the worst position to afford to have a high interest rate get the high interest rate because their credit says they're not worthy. I'm not going to preach. It's not church, but this is what I want you to know. If your credit is less than you want it to be, your credit score is a bruise, not a tattoo. It can be improved if you consistently continue the process of educating yourself about the trap that you're in and work your way out. Let me know about those things. But credit score, the higher it is, the less money costs you. And then my last thing is and your personal mission, because I've been challenged and I've challenged myself to go beyond my comfort zone so that I can reach more people, teach more people, and affect an outcome. Because here's what I understand. Comfort, complacency are the keys to staying stuck where you are. And every day that you wake up, every dollar that you make, you have a choice to make a change. But if you don't take a chance, you won't stand a chance. All of those are C words coming to the conclusion of our cash flow conversation. Thank you for rocking with me. If this has been of value to you, I'm still unpredictable about my times, when I'm going to pop up. Smash that bell up there to let you know when I come on with the next letter. It'll be tomorrow sometime. I just don't know what time that's going to be. But as we work through this vocabulary, ABC, C being the place where we conclude that we are going to concentrate on creating cash flow using that formula of cash, buying, building, or growing an asset so that it can create more cash, getting ourselves out of the credit trap and understanding that cash, cribs, and cars, that's not what wealth is. It's just what it looks like. If we understand the importance of capital gains, being capitalist in a capital culture, so that we are producers of capital, not just consumers of it, that's how we create a legacy of generational wealth, making a choice to make a change so that that next generation has a chance. Man, this is your boy Richard Hart. I'm gonna sign off for today. Excited about continuing the conversation. Again, tag someone if this has been of value to you and is helpful to you, and also share the concepts that we are learning together. But as we work A through Z and we change the conversations that we have with the community that we serve, we can create a different culture. That's my man. I'm out of here. Talk to y'all soon.